Guess the power's not off in this area. Could be nuclear.
What are they doing? Why did they come here?
Some kind of instinct, memory, what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives.
Later, I had to play it up to that line. Just 22 years later, it's not an important place at all to me, and I avoid it on back roads so I don't have to drive past it.
I have to tell you, every time I go into a mall, still to this day, I always think of George. I swear to God. What I do. I'm not making that up.
That's because you can walk into a mall today and there are zombies walking. I'm serious. All by the Muzak and his shop, and they're just.
That's what makes the film work so well. George, I mean, you know, it's like you can read stuff in later, but George has thought all that out. And his films, he does layer them so they work on different levels. With the subtext of the consumerism, the malls, the zombies, the shopping, and he has that all laid out in the script.
And today they do the same thing. There are kids that go there constantly. The mall is the center
And that was like a big
of
article
universe.
written that time in Associated Papers of the malling of America, and this sort of rise of consumerism.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the first malls built.
There's a question right here in front of you. Have any of you ever went back to Norval Mall?
I lived right here.
People still shop there.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
It's funny because
Well, a lot of it's changed.
well, there's only really 2 stores left that were
Penny's
there
is
when we
still
did
there.
the film. Penny's and Spencer's Gift are the only 2 left that
And
are.
the railings.
No, Kaufman's is not there. It's Lazarus.
That's right, Lazarus. No, the other.
The other end was Joseph Warren's, and now it's somebody else.
Oh, that's
There
right.
used to be a bar there
Banks,
called the
Kimberly.
Brown Derby.
Brown Derby.
We opened till 2 o'clock in the morning. We'd make up a shitload of zombies, and they'd go drinking and go drinking. And they'd come back as these drunken zombies, and they'd steal golf carts and crash them into the pillars.
Some of the ideas the zombies had were even more frightful than George could think of. And one zombie, she was pregnant. She went into a scene where they ripped the baby out of her. It was like, George didn't even want to go with it.
Alcohol screwdriver in the ear is one thing. The big clock tower's gone. The mountain is covered up and used as a stage now. The ice rink is
The ice rink, the railings are still there. They play a big important part. The wrought iron railings and the fountains
are still there.
Every time I go, we always stand at the railings and go, have you ever heard of Macumba?
Yeah.
Everybody around me looks like, what are you talking about? Forget it.
Oh my God.
I read somewhere that, from the camera shots and the angles of the camera, that the mall looked like it was in like a secluded area outside the city, but in reality, it's actually in a very, very busy area.
No, well, actually, at that time, it was not a very busy area. It was pretty rural. There's a, maybe it was between 2 communities, Wilkins Township and Monroeville. But that area was pretty undeveloped. Now it's a mess.
Now there's actually stores in front of the mall, and you have to go pick through stuff to get past.
Best Buy.
But the gun store that they went into is not even there. That was
that gun store
miles and miles and miles away.
I have a question for you, Tom, about doing the makeup for all the outside zombies.
Yeah.
What, 800 people, something like that? How did you do that? Because I know some people had different complexities. Just like generally, how did you just pick who got more complex makeup and that sort of thing?
Oh, actually, yeah. Well, okay.
It's all I knew you knew.
Yeah. When we had big zombie days, we hired like 4 or 5, maybe 6 guys, $25 a day. They would just go through and paint people gray.
That's it.
And I would just sit there and do appliances on as many people as I could before we would start.
There's $1 for the mass zombies was $1. With all the ones outside.
The makeup artist got $25.
That's well,
I know that. I don't know what zombies made. But it was gray. But in some scenes they're blue, some they're green. But it was always this gray makeup. It depended on the lighting and the film stock or whatever. But they were always.
If you had a missing limb, you got like $50. Yeah, because for example, you had a missing limb. Gary Peabody was in a scene that ends up being shot there. I had a documentary on him. I did a documentary on him years ago, and he fell 7 stories out of a window when he was a kid, washing windows for his mother, and lost both of his legs. And George, and if you had a missing limb, you got like $50.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's how you make the real money.
Well, you mean, was he one of the educators in the beginning?
Yeah, the beginning of the book. Yeah. He got shot by John Rice.
You know, everybody thinks that blood pressure thing was me. They're always asking me about that. I said, Well, now I think my name is Puffball.
Well, they think my name is Tony Boomer because
your name is
mine and Tony's are across each other.
Yeah, when you see the credits at the end, there's two columns.
Yeah,
two different people.
Yeah, your character's name was not Tony.
People that knew Tony thought his name was Marty Schiff. People that knew Tony thought my name was Tony Boomer.
Anybody else? Anybody else back there? Okay.
Off to the keys to the king.
Here.
Keys to the kingdom.
Grab the walkie-talkies.
Christmas time down there, buddy.
You're merciful.
If you're watching it, just look at George's style. He couldn't afford a dolly, so everything is all done through the cutting, all the motion, all the movement.
Here's where the rails are. You can still go peek through the rails and quote his name.
Dive over those rails into the fountain.
Yeah.
You can still slide down the escalator at Penny's.
Yes, you can. No, they installed them little rivets.
The little
Nope.
Nope. There are no accessories on that. I haven't risked getting thrown out yet to do it, but I will want to.
Eventually.
Yeah, we'll go down.
Tack you in and go for it. All right. Well, not to say, we'll get on to the truck guy.
Anybody got anything to say?
Yeah, I got Mark there.
I read once somewhere that y'all actually put people through zombie schools so they could get the movements down and different ways to move.
That was Clayton's department. Remember Clayton?
Clayton Hill.
Well, I mean, I think that was Clayton Hill. Kind of instruction.
He,
School.
We had a zombie school on Night of the Living Dead.
Not for $1 a day, there wasn't.
We had a guy named Clayton Hill who, he and his wife, they were really into it, and so any person that wasn't acting as the zombies, they thought they should, he chastised them and gave them instructions.
As a tutelage.
Yeah,
George had rules. George had rules. Don't drag your left leg, and don't like be the mummy with holding one arm and dragging the leg. Just don't do that. But guys, people did it anyway. You'll see at the end.
He's got a lot of them. Anybody else? No? No? All right. We will continue.
And as always, are these cannibals? No, they are not cannibals. Cannibalism, in the true sense of the word, implies an interspecies activity. These creatures cannot be considered human. They prey on humans. They do not prey on each other. That's the difference. They attack and they feed only on warm human flesh. Intelligence, seemingly little or no reasoning power, but basic skills remain are more remembered behaviors from normal life. There are reports of these creatures using tools. But even these actions are the most primitive. The use of external articles as bludgeons and so forth. I might point out to you that even animals will adopt the basic use of tools in this manner. These creatures are nothing but pure, motorized instinct. We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotions. They must be destroyed on sight.
I'll pull a movie off my video library and sit down and watch it just to enjoy it for the good movie that it is. Does any of the panel ever sit down and watch this maybe every couple years, or maybe for you, Tom? Do you ever sit down and watch one of your movies just to enjoy it as the movie, or are you guys just too close to the things that you've made to really sit down and enjoy it in that way?
Well, for me, it's probably showing somebody. You know, like
I haven't watched it
show
for a
somebody.
long time.
We watched it recently because we did the DVD British commentary for it, so we watched it again.
For me, I teach film and video production at the University of Edinburgh now. I do. I mean, I'll show the movie, then break it down with the script scene by scene. How George did the setup shots, what the camera angles were, what the reason for selecting different angles, how different scenes were made. I mean, I do more on the technical.
They're
breakdown. That's how I said it.
well, they're home movies to us. I mean, in a way. I mean, really, it's here I was, 20 years old, doing this movie. It's my first film. And when I watch the film, I'm not really watching the film as a film. I see it as, this is what I did for one winter. You know, this is what I did.
That time.
Yeah, and I mean, if any of you are familiar with the film Night Riders, many of us were in that film as well. And every time I see that movie, I don't see the movie. I see the summer that was based on, you know, it's a home movie. It's basically, it just brings back memories of what happened that summer.
So yeah, because an awful lot happened besides what was in that movie.
Right.
And only we know.
$8 at the table.
All the zombies, all those young women were coming to the mall. And you saw, you look at it, you start trying to think, remember who was who.
Well, all I know is when I talk to everybody to get them together, I went, oh shit, if I don't introduce them back to this movie, they might not have anything to say, which is why we're watching clips of it.
Yeah, but, watching it, it's just like it happened yesterday.
Right, right. That's why it brings back those memories.
I think each person has their own individual separate memories, which are probably extremely vivid. I mean, I can remember exact days when things happened, or funny incidents when things happened.
Because you still have all the cue sheets.
Well, I sent him some call sheets. I had the call sheets in the script, and I was amazed at all the different things I had. But, about a month ago, my older brother came to the house for a holiday, and there were like 30 of us there, relatives, uncles, aunts, cousins, nieces. And he said, I've never seen Dawn of the Dead, and you're going to be at this expo. Now I'd like to see it, because he started telling his friends about it. Okay, I'll pull it out. And every so often I put a piece of it on for fun when someone's around who's been in it with me or worked on it with me. So we can talk about what was going on behind the scenes. And so like an hour runs, and he's there watching it, and then an aunt comes in, and a niece comes in. And I have to keep replaying parts over and over again because someone new kept walking in. So finally, he said, we have to leave, and then lived in West Virginia. So they only have like another half hour of daylight. I said, can we get to your part? I said, well, that's way at the end. And so he said, well, can you just get to that part? I said, okay, it's on the second tape. So I bring it out, put it in. You see me get the machete in the skull. And then, of course, 10 more people individually keep walking in, and you keep saying, whoosh, 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 whoosh. So after a while, it's like, okay, I've really seen it enough. I mean, it's fine, but it's enough. And then you realize, it's only on for 19 seconds. And I wasn't even thinking about seconds or anything. My primary interest in doing it was because when I was a child, I saw Night of the Living Dead, and I'd always wanted to be in a zombie movie. And then here was the opportunity, right? And I really wanted to be in Famous Monsters of Filmmaking magazine because when I was growing up, I read it from cover to cover. I mean, I'd be watching TV, I would be reading it, I'd be eating my breakfast cereal, I'd be reading it.
I think we all did that.
And I grew up with it, yeah. And so I still haven't been in it yet. I'm still, I'm hoping that someone hears this. I've been there. I've been in it. Like I'm on posters and things I've never even seen. Wow. I should have signed something for residuals. But it's like I remember signing it away, thinking, this will probably be important someday. But in a sort of general, vague way, because I was busy gripping. And but when I do pull it out, or when someone wants to see it, it's so much more fun when someone sees it the first